The Fate of the UEES Flyssa, read dramatically by Red J. Originally appeared in a Jump Point, but just got published today, June 22nd, 2021, Spectrum Wide. In a comms call made early in March of 2862, Admiral Pavelina Marlin confessed to a friend that she felt frustrated with her posting, assigned to oversee the naval shipyard positioned among the clouds of Stanton II. It wouldn't become known as Crusader until 2865. She didn't see it as the plum position others claimed it to be. The command was one others coveted, sporting some of the most extraordinary views in the UEE, but it felt too quiet and calm for her, the ambitious admiral, who was certain that, despite the prestige of the position, her skills were being wasted. Marlin made it clear, through her career, that her ultimate goal lay in leading the defense of the Vanduul front. It's why she joined the Navy. Her grandparents had fled the Vanduul conquest of Virgil in 2737, and told her harrowing stories of their escape and tragic demise of those less fortunate. In her office, she kept a framed photo of the former family home in Virgil, telling anyone who asked that it was long since burned, bombed, and jarred through a Vanduul harvester to fuel their war against us. Despite Admiral Marlin's crystal-clear ambition, she always found herself commanding fleets assigned to rear guard or administrative duties. She constantly lamented her lack of combat command experience and believed this shortcoming truly kept her from the front line. This trend continued in 2858 when she was assigned to sleepy and safe Stanton. While High Command Ira Ribel admired Admiral Marlin's ambition, he hoped a few more years away from the front lines would season her into a more patient and cautious commander. Admiral Marlin knew the assignment was a test and sought to prove her potential. She improved the shipyard's production output and convinced tight-fisted budgetary committee to expand the network of platforms to increase manufacturing capabilities. To break the administrative monotony and hone her combat command experience, she frequently organized war games to test her fleet's readiness for anything, from outlaws blockading a space station to the Vanduul clan appearing in system via undiscovered jump point. Yet, after 4 years at the post, she saw herself no closer to her ultimate goal and wondered privately if she had done too good of a job for Naval Command to let her leave. Amid this growing frustration in 2862, Admiral Marlin received a report that an illegal mining operation had sprung up on Daymar. The UEE had restricted most commercial and industrial development in Stanton since its discovery a decade earlier, a stance that confused and angered many at the time. The reasoning behind it only made sense when, in 2865, the UEE sold each planet to the highest bidder. Still, in 14 years between Stanton's discovery and sale, independent miners often visited the system and extract a little ore, and the Navy mostly ignored them. People were still reeling from the economic downturn in the late 1850s, and many still struggled to eke out a living. The Navy had little interest in harassing hard-working civilians, as long as their mining runs were within reason. Reports of this new Daymar operation went well beyond anything the Admiral had seen during her command. With the fleet of ships working together, they were stripping an incredible amount of ore in a very short period of time. Understanding that inaction would only encourage further incursions of such scale, Admiral Marlin sent a fleet of fighters and the UEES Flyssa, a Javelin-class destroyer, to Daymar to escort the offending ships to an impound lot and levy severe fines to dissuade similar operations. Admiral Marlin authorized the use of non-lethal force if they proved uncooperative and insisted that all ships involved in the operation be brought to justice. She was determined to drive home the point in emphatic fashion and give her crew some valuable in-field experience. She believed the proactive response would be a good test for her starmen and read well on her report to Naval High Command. She never could have expected the terrible fate to come. The UEES Flyssa positioned itself above Daymar as the other Navy ships entered atmosphere to find and escort the offending ships off-world. Admiral Marlin's insistence that all involved be detained meant that the Navy sent no comms alerting the miners to their presence and intentions. The Navy ships located the active mining site and approached it fast and hard, inspired by Admiral Marlin's directive to announce their presence in a way that would rattle the screws and shock them into immediate submission. Instead, their sudden appearance scared the miners, who immediately ceased operations and fled in different directions. While most of the ships were quickly subdued via non-lethal ordnance, one managed to slip away and began to exit the atmosphere. The UEES Flyssa tracked the fleeing ship and moved into position to neutralize it once free from Daymar's gravity. Tragedy struck the moment it did. The mining ship, long overdue for much-needed repairs, suffered a series of catastrophic component failures moments after it exited atmosphere. This triggered a chain reaction of explosions, only intensified by a cargo hold filled to capacity with highly unstable ore. The concussive wave unleashed by the massive explosion hit the UEES Flyssa as it approached. Unable to adjust course or quickly reinforce its shields, ship debris and ore fragments peppered the UES Flyssa, piercing the hull in dozens of places. Captain Chin Amistan believed the Javelin to be under attack and ordered quick retreat, only to realize too late that two of the ship's thrusters had been damaged. The sudden directional change caused them to overload, followed rapidly by a series of system failures. Fire spread throughout the ship, and the UES Flyssa began to uncontrollably careen into the moon's surface. Already shredding parts due to cascading onboard explosions, the UES Flyssa crashed upon a high ridge and came to a rest with its bow dangling over a precarious ledge. All 65 crew members aboard died, making it one of the worst naval crashes of the 29th century. The subsequent naval investigation acknowledged the unlikelihood of the entire series events, creating the chance of such a crash to happen almost infinitesimal, but still placed the blame squarely on Admiral Marlin. They deemed her order to send ships after the miners without first broadcasting their intentions to be the fatal decision. They highlighted comms where Admiral Marlin expressed frustration over her command and desire to distinguish herself as a motive for her offering, quote, overly intimidating and aggressive tactics not commensurate with the situation, end quote. With this report, a once promising career was destroyed. Admiral Marlin finally transferred out of Stanton, but not to the Van Duel front. She would be pushed into administrative duty in Killian until she was granted a general discharge in 2868. Her dream of commanding a frontline fleet would never come true. Today, few remember Admiral Marlin or her role in the crash of the UEES Flyssa, but the ship's skeleton remains a landmark on Daymar. The Navy decommissioned the ship of its ordnance and military computers with the intent to remove the wreck on a future date. But with the privatization of the moon, the plans never fully materialized. The site receives few visitors despite its historical significance and impressive views, as rumors abound that outlaws often inhabit it. A tragic fate for the ship, its crew, and the most ambitious admiral who only wanted to prove herself. Well, I hope you enjoyed this dramatic telling of the fate of the UES Flyssa. This was a product created by the lore team, and it is a Spectrum dispatch that they created on June 23rd, 2021, that was previously in Jump Point 8.12. I want to thank the lore team for putting things together like this, and I love how it fleshes out the world we're in, and it even tells some stories that truly need to be told, and gives us kind of something to grip here and really feel the fate of of the captain and its crew, and an admiral's ambition that drove to this incident, and I really appreciate that. Please let me know in the comments or private messages on Discord. I keep getting them, and I love every one of them. Or just hit the like button on this if you appreciate this type of video. It basically gives me kind of a weather vane to know what type of content you're looking for. And I'll see you all in the next one.